Hello, YouTube. Before I get any further, I just wanted to apologize for the terrible audio the last two uploads have had. I had some sort of issue with I use my phone to record, and so one of the mics inside my phone went bad or something, and I had to buy an app that bypassed that one because I use this little thing most of the time anyway, but it was doing weird stuff. So anyway, I hope I got that fixed. If this episode sounds like crap, you'll know that I did not get it fixed, but I'm trying, man. It's hard doing this. I wanted to give you kind of a quick update on where I'm at on a few things that have developed just in the last week or something like that. But you saw from the last episodes, both of them, I was building a vanity because I'm still waiting, and to this day, I am still waiting for my friend's backhoe to get fixed. And so that's kind of a bummer. But I'm pressing forward anyway, and even next week, which you're a month behind or something like that, I don't know, but I'm actually going out of town. I'm going to go to a conference for work. I'm going to be staying with my parents during the week because they're close to where this is. And the plan is I'm going to cut up some more of that oak you saw me use for the vanity and start working on cabinets, which is absolutely hysterical because I've yet to even put a pier in the ground for the foundation. But I'm hoping either today or tomorrow. Today's a Thursday. I've got Thursday, Friday, and maybe Saturday. Probably not. I'm going to start digging some holes for those piers, which is a little bit cart before the horse too, because I've got to get. I can't put in my foundation really because I don't want to cut down a bunch of trees until I get the septic, at least a tank in the ground, and so. There's all kinds of stuff. I'm just doing my best to keep moving forward. But in projects like this, you're always going to have some sort of setback. So it's kind of par for the course. Right now, I'm in my truck. I just hitched up the trailer, and I'm about to go pick up some free OSB plywood. It's campaign signs. A friend of mine ran for office, and once they're done with the signs, I mean, you can't sell them or anything like that. And so he just gave them to me. And I also got, you can kind of see them back behind me there, I got some free windows, and I don't think any will be for this project, but I always kind of, I stockpile junk for things to happen in the future. And so I'm going to do that. I'll show you what I got once I get there. So here's what I'm picking up. We've got these campaign signs, and then he had this stuff over here too. I forgot about it, but there's 2x4s in that. I didn't realize that. And they look pretty scaly, but they're not. They're just gray. That's kind of how it goes. So, anyway, I'm going to set up on time lapse and pick all this stuff up. Well, I've still got pretty good weather, and so I'm going to stick around here. I'm thinking I might take and disassemble these. It's 2x4s that they put the sign in, and I could just as well disassemble here as anywhere else. So I think I'm going to. We'll see how the weather holds up. It's looking pretty cloudy, but I'm hoping I can get these disassembled because it's going to be easier to stack them, and I'm going to have to do it later anyway. So here we go. Alright, well, I got loaded up. I was going to do these, but I just don't want to mess with them today. There's some other stuff I might come back for. I'm still waiting to get a response. All of it's really, not all of it, but there's enough here to be useful. I kind of want to get my tape out and see how long those land beams are, because I could use those for sure. But this is definitely worth the effort. People that go, oh, that's not worth it. There are 31 usable sheets in there. I don't know what the current price of OSB is, but I've been out here like, I don't know, an hour, maybe hour and a half, something like that. Got my workout, got a sweat on, and This is quite a bit. I'm going to need more than this, but this is quite a bit of what I'm going to need. It'll at least do my wall decking, wall sheeting, whatever you want to say. But it honestly kind of helped me out that this was painted on both sides, because it helps it hold up a little longer. You know, you can't leave this stuff out in the weather too long. And it seemed like just the very bottom sheet, that's it on top. And the top sheet is really bad because it's warped, but even this bottom sheet is not as bad as I expected. I mean, they said it's straight on the ground, and it's still, I've seen people use worse, honestly. I don't think I'm going to use it, but I know I'm not going to use it, but anyway, it kind of is a testament to how it'll hold up once it gets some paint on it. So it was good that it was painted. But anyway, here's my haul for today. I'm going to go catalog it, put it up, and get to work. What is up? Well, true to form, my plans have changed today. That's probably no surprise to you if you've been following along, but I had planned on digging some holes for my piers today, but some other stuff came up. My lawnmower's broken, and my kid was sick, and on and on and on, and so I'm hoping maybe tomorrow I can get started on that. What it means is I don't really have much to post about the progress. Right now, I'm actually on my way to go pick up a sink for that vanity I built in my last video. And so I've been trying for like 2 weeks to get this. It's free. I mean, they're just getting rid of it, and I've never been able to connect the dots with these people. And finally, he just agreed to put it out, put it somewhere, and I can go pick it up whenever. And so I'm heading that way to do that. It's a little bit kind of far away. It's more than an hour away, but I've also scheduled, also in the last video, I broke my table saw, and I've been trying to nurse it along. I mean, just bandaging it together because it's really a piece of junk until I get done with this next project and sell it, because I'm trying to get a nice, like a saw stop table saw, the kind, that won't cut your finger off. It like breaks the blade, but I didn't make it, so I found another saw on Marketplace. The guy wants like $35 for it, and it'll do, it's one of those kind of things. And so I'm going to pick that up too. There's also maybe like one other thing that could work out. I've sent out a bunch of messages, and true to form is last minute, and so we'll see what happens. But I know at least I'm going to get the table saw and get that undermount sink for that vanity, so it'll be pretty productive. You know me, I like a good road trip. Alright, so here's my haul from today, just filling up with gas. I got this for free because it's obviously jacked up, but all I wanted was just a sink, and the way these are attached, it's just like silicone type stuff. And then I got this table saw, so much to write home about, but it was $35, so it's quarter cable. So that's what I got. What's up, YouTube? It is Saturday. I don't have a ton of time today, but I'm going to do my best to start drilling some pier holes. This is not one of those things I want to personally do all in one setting, because I'm 41 years old and it'd probably kill me if I tried to. So I'm going to be gone next week. I'm still going to be working. I'm going to be hanging out with my parents, and so I'm bringing some lumber with me to mill up and build a few random things, some cabinet faces, maybe some cabinet doors. We'll see how it goes. But I am just trying to get on site today just to do anything. It's been a while since I've been out there, probably like 2 weeks, honestly. I was gone the week before last, and then this last week I had a lot of stuff with work. And so anyway, I'm going to show you what I'm doing there. I don't know how much I'll get done. I can't remember. I know we knocked down a big white oak tree, not a big white oak tree, but another white oak tree, and so it's kind of right in the middle of stuff that I need to move. And what I might do, just for the sake of getting some holes in the ground, is either work around it to some extent, or just limb what I need so I can get in there. But my goal today is to drill 2 piers, which doesn't sound like a lot, especially when you think about 21 that I have to do. But it's going to take me a while to get started. I really need to set up batter boards, but I'm really just probably going to do the front line, like the front part of the house, the the closest to the road. I don't know how to say that, but the front elevation in essence. And I'm going to put out my line. I'm going to do probably half the batter boards, and then once I get that tree out of the way, sometime next week, I'll do the rest. But I'll put you on. You'll see what we're doing. I do my best to try to add some context, because I know you see a lot of me just talking to a camera like this, sitting inside my old truck, and on site, and it's hard to tell what's what. But I'm going to do my best to give you some context of that, and so stay tuned. Here we go. Just got on site. It's crazy how much more grown up it is. I haven't been here in 2 weeks. But we'll see. I think I might get the weed eater out first and just clear a path, because it's kind of crazy. I'm sure some of you are wondering about ticks and bugs. Whenever a friend of mine who's a homesteader told me about this, you can go Tractor Supply or Atwoods or whatever the store is where you are, and buy permethrin for horses, I guess, and dilute it, and just, that's what I do to keep the ticks off. Which is funny, because there's literally one right there. He's dead now. Sooner than later, I'll get the battery sprayer and spray the whole place so I can kill them all. You can see behind me, it's pretty crazy out here. I had forgotten just how much we had cut down, but I'm going to spend a little bit and just kind of clean up around where I need to drill those holes while I've got battery, because I know my battery will die pretty quick. So I'll set you up, time lapse it, and then I'll get into the real work. Alright, I got this kind of cleared out. I guess I probably could have just kept going, but it was bugging me, so. Trying to be careful. I got poison ivy the last time I was out here, but it was before stuff started sprouting. It's a lot easier to see now. For instance, this vine right here is obviously poison ivy, but 2 weeks ago, there wasn't those. So I might get some Roundup or whatever and spray all this stuff eventually, but I would imagine there's some in that, because that big tree, the one that had the hollowed out spot, had a big vine on it that I didn't realize was poison ivy. So anyway, I cut that out. We've got these batter boards still kind of intact. I'm going to go through and just start over in essence. It wasn't wasted because I was trying to figure out how the house is going to lay out, but definitely now that we've got that tree cut down, it kind of opens up my options, whether I can go, this way or that way or whatever. And so I'm just going to set up a camera and scratch my head and revisit that. All right, so kind of here's a layout of what's going to go on. And right now I'm in this corner, but this corner right there is actually in line with this front line. And so I'm going to have to figure that out. But I think I might just start down here, work my way this way. So every 8 feet of a pier. And so on that front line, I want to center it on the string pretty much. And there's going to be room to breathe. The actual pad that the pier will set on will center it. And I'll do that later. As long as the hole is pretty close, within really 4 inches, 5 inches, I don't know, up to 6, 7 inches, because you could dig it out later if it wasn't right. At least you've done the work of digging it. So anyway, I'm going to start in this corner and dig my first hole for my pier and work my way this way across this front line. So my goal is to get 2 of them. So this one and then maybe that one. And if we keep going, it'll just be straight under that string. Here's the string all the way that direction. And I'll start over in that corner. I'm going to measure it one more time to make sure I'm pretty close, because it's starting to get serious in terms of just, this is going to make a difference. We've got to be diligent about putting it where it's supposed to go. And then here's the detail of how the piers will be. There's the pier. You'll have a 4x4 treated post on top of it with hardware on the bottom. and then on the top too, on a double rim joist. So I'll set you up and you can watch me struggle to dig through the rocks. So again, this is pretty rough, and I'll have to make it not rough as time goes by. But what I've done, I moved my tape, but I have my tape laid out because I don't want to paint my tape. I'm about to paint the ground, and I just put a rock. Now it's a little off too, but I'll go and plumb them up with the plumb bob later. I just want to get close because I know I can ease it one way or the other after the fact. So I put a rock here. There's one, well, there's not anything in the corner, but you get the idea. Right, so I've just got an X. Same thing here. This rock will kind of anchor it, so when the leaves move, it'll be all right still. And again, I'm kind of just eyeballing these for now. Once the hole's there, I can move the base, the platform, whatever you want to call it. This is probably, no, I think there's one more, right? 8, 16, 24, 32. It's the last one. So I got my X's where I'm putting piers in. We'll see how far I get. I'm laughing because this is pretty tough ground to dig in. You'll see. I changed my mind. I'm going to start right here in this corner. This might come to bite me in the butt later. I might have to shift this one a lot because the farther out you get from there, the less accurate it is, it seems like. But it's a very simple reason why. It's because it's in the shade, and I don't want to deal with the sun. So I'm gonna start right here. And once I break ground, I won't necessarily need this X anymore, as long as I'm not absolutely ridiculous and get it way off course. But I'll probably speed some of this up. You know the drill. Off to a great start. I'm about 2 inches into the ground. I think real soon you'll see why the accuracy of my X's doesn't matter much, because this little hole is going to end up being 18 inches around or so, probably by the time I'm done, because you get rocks, and you'll see. Like that. I don't like to start with the auger. I'll grab the auger in a minute, but I want to get, 6 inches down so I have something to dig into, because if you start with the auger, what I found is it tends to go wherever it wants to go, kind of like a drill bit on metal if you haven't punched it. I'm about 6 inches down. I'm going to try to get the auger fired up. And really, the auger, you can't just go with it. You got to kind of use it to break up the rocks and then pick them out, break up some more, pick them out. Honestly, this isn't going too bad. I don't know if I can go much deeper, which is fine. I'm probably at 18 inches right now. People don't know this country. They always talk about compaction. And by the time there is no topsoil, I mean, this is woods. There's no grass to speak of except out there. But it's just rocks, There's a little bit of dirt around trees or where something's decayed, and there's dirt in this, but it's so compacted already.
I talk to builders around here that don't, we just kind of don't have the same thing. And so the way you know this is true, at least in my area, is because you'll see them roll up with those big portable buildings, and some are bigger than what I'm building here. And they'll literally just put out, sometimes if they're really bougie, they'll put out a load of crusher run, like some sort of gravel, and then just stack cinder blocks on top of it and set the structure on there. And you know, if it shifts a little bit, obviously you can go in and jack it up and add some, but this ground does not move much, and we don't have frost heave here too. So if you're watching this, you're like, oh my goodness, can't believe he's not going down forever. It's because it's just a different part of the world. And if you don't live in a state that's like this, it's kind of hard to see that. But well, it's hard to dig. A lot of places where it's easy to dig, you have to go a lot deeper. And so you might, I can already see the comments, you know, oh, you got to go down 4 feet or whatever. No, not here. So I'm going to get a tape and measure this to see where I'm at after I dig it out. Yeah, I think that's plenty. I'm going to go for about 18 inches on all of these if I can. And so, hey, that wasn't too bad. I'm going to move on down the line and keep doing it. I think for the rest, I'll just put you on time lapse. We'll see how many I get done before I have to leave. Well, that's all for today, and probably all for this video. I actually got quite a bit done. Pretty pumped about that. I drilled 5 holes for those piers. My goal was 2, so I had to, you know, overachieve. I cut down, I'll show you here in a minute, but I cut down or cut back some of the fallen trees that we've already cut, and then worked on some other stuff too. Just trying to clean this place up because it's starting to get to me how much timber is on the ground, and it's kind of a disaster area, but that's just kind of how it goes. But I've got some pretty gnarly blisters going on. I don't know if you can see those, but it's just the price you pay, I guess, for not doing this all day, which I'm thankful I don't, because it's really tough on you. That auger is great, but it can really throw your shoulder out in a hurry if you're not careful, and so I'm being real cautious with it. I'll show you a few other things that I've done here that I may have already showed you, but I don't know. You need to see again. So I think I showed you before, but I got the temp meter in. If you remember that episode, I was doing this on the side of the road in front of a gas station waiting on somebody. Got all that ready. Got the outlet ready to go. What'll end up happening is they want us to go underground, so it'll go down here, probably a 2-inch conduit. And then I think I'm going to use HDPE, that orange stuff, because I found a guy that's got some for really cheap, way cheaper than 2-inch conduit. But it'll come this way, and then probably straight through, like under. So I need the backhoe for that, waiting on that. And then my water meter will probably be where that clump of trees is, somewhere over there. And I need the backhoe for that. Right there is my opening for my driveway. I've got to put the culvert in right there. Also need a backhoe for that. And then before I really start building, because of the way I've kept all these trees, I really need to get my septic put in, because this pile of stuff right here is pretty much where the tank's going to go. Probably right here somewhere. Right where that big white oak log is, probably right past it. So I got to dig a big hole there. And so I can't really put in anything. I can put in the piers maybe, but not. Can't start really building until I get that. So that kind of holds me up. I'm hoping in the next 2 weeks, something like that, get the backhoe ready. If not, I will figure something else out, because I got to move on. I got a lot of this. You saw that tree had fallen. I limbed it out. There's still a little bit to do, but there's a bunch of junk over here I worked on. I didn't video it, but this tree has fallen, so I've just kind of been chewing on it. My My plan as it stands is just to use my chainsaw every time I'm out here, and that way it's not an overwhelming amount of work, and my battery situation is not an issue that way. But here's what I got right now between these front doors. This is where the front door will be of the house, so it's cool that you can kind of see it taking shape with the batter boards right there, and then that corner right there. I got the whole front line, the main part of the house, those 5 piers dug, and then I've got 5 more, and then 5 more, and then over here it will be, I don't know, however many more. I have to look at the plan, but that's the progress I've got for this week. Next week will probably be a little bit strange just because I'm going to jump into building some cabinets, so we'll see what happens.